It brings me to some of the comments made by my brother, His Excellency Peter Obi. I'm not supposed to comment about it because some people have already done the work, and I saw what Arise brought, the say courtesy channel, and they were bringing, similar scenario when His Excellency Peter Obi was governor, and he made a statement. He said, any infrastructure that stands on the way of road construction must go, and there will be no compensation paid, quote and unquote. That's what he said.
To reduce traffic on Anambra State roads, Governor Peter Obi has directed that any illegal structure on the roads or waterways should be demolished without compensation. He said this in Onitsha while inspecting the Premier Road. Governor Obi ordered the demolition of the Premier Brewery fence, which has led to the delay in the rehabilitation of the road. The governor says the fence has to be brought down to enable government to expand the road, which he described as critical to the people of the state.
The governor was in Onitsha to inspect the ongoing construction and rehabilitation of Premier Road, which is abandoned by previous administrations in the state. The contractors handling the project attributed the slow pace of work on the road to the Premier Brewery fence, which the management refused to bring down, even after the company had been told to do so. This complaint angered the governor, who immediately ordered that the fence be brought down. The order was carried out instantly as people watched with surprise as the fence goes down. The governor warns that any structure standing against development in the state should give way.
Our next program is that we have to remove all structures on the road as long as we are reconstructing the road. That's why we are even leaving most of the structures on the express. Once we start the work, the structures must go.
The governor also made it clear that no compensation will be made by the state government over such demolition. The governor's pronouncement is already getting reactions.
This is the part of the democratical what we are talking about, the democracy of the grassroots. Can you imagine His Excellency setting up this road that have been abandoned by the old past governors?
It's a sign of a serious government who wants to make life better for its people.
Residents of Onitsha used the opportunity to warn those putting up illegal structures on roads to desist from doing so. They say what the state government has done will serve as deterrent to many others.
But look at me, by the human face of Renewed Hope Agenda Administration, we are even paying for people that are illegally staying on the coastline and do not even have, valid infrastructure and valid documents. That is messy. That is messy. Some people darken counsel without knowledge. There is devil in details. When you bring judgment, when you condemn people, you bring judgment upon yourself. And that's what he has done. And I think he's inciting some of the Southeast people that are not well informed. He's inciting them, and he gets them into trouble, and he doesn't go to fight for them. Wisdom is a defense. We know money is a defense. But wisdom gives life to those that practice it. And I want our people to have wisdom, because I'm involved. And there is no inhumanity meted to Landmark. That matter should be buried, because I was there. And so we fought.
Yes, you mentioned the ESIA is currently being carried out by...
Sister, I was raised in the village. Me, I'm not here for now.
Well,
so
sorry,
I
can't help the way I speak. You mentioned that the ESIA was being carried out at the moment. The EIA Act of 1992.
I need interpreter.
Well, you have enough people next to you. The EIA Act of 1992 states that an EIA must be approved by the Federal Ministry of Environment before the commencement of any project.
No,
unless an exemption
it's
has
not
been
also.
given.
There is preliminary approval, there is final approval.
Has an exemption been given? And if so, if you have the preliminary approval...
Exemption of what?
For the project to start without the final approval. If you have the preliminary approval, can this be shared?
We are following due process.
So can we have a
copy of the preliminary approval? It is federal government that gives the approval. It's not you.
So can we have a copy of the preliminary approval?
We have the approval.
And you can make that public to the media?
Everything in order.
Okay, thank you.
So, this man, Engineer Dave Umahi, is behaving using the same method he governed Ebonyi State for 8 years to do his job as the Minister of Works. First, look at how he addressed Arise TV reporter. That is a village man, he was trained in the village, that he doesn't understand the British or American accent the lady was using to ask him question. It's not her fault because she was not raised in Nigeria. So the accent she was using is just natural. She was not faking it. But this is a man, how uncut this man was. He just embarrassed himself that he was trained in the village, that he needed an interpreter. After saying that he needed an interpreter, he actually responded to what the lady was asking, that they need copies of the document, which he said is with the government, that they cannot release it. So Dave Umahi is just behaving like, I don't even know which adjective to use to qualify his behavior currently. Here was a man who gathered a lot of people, detained them for not voting for him, not campaigning for him. Here was a man who told civil servants, who locked the National State Assembly gate in Ebonyi State and demanded that civil servants should be flogged. Here was a man also, even right now, as the Minister of Works, he told contractors that if they are not going to, if they are not either, I think the video was either when he was governor of Ebonyi State or even now that is Minister of Works, that if contractors did not, if they are not doing their works on site, that he will tell locals to go and beat them up. This is what Dave Umahi, the videos are all over the place. You have watched it. So what is wrong with this man called Dave Umahi? And not just that, he said that Peter Obi is inciting the Easterners. Why will he say that? This is another Igbo man speaking against Igbo man. Now, if you look at Peter Obi's statement regarding this whole thing, this is how Obiasog David puts it. Dave Umahi is an anointed liar, and here is why. First, the context of the Lagos-Calabar coastal road construction and the one Peter Obi did is totally different. Peter Obi did a rehabilitation of the road called Premier Road. The road connects different communities to Onitsha town. Since the road spoiled, people could not pass through to Onitsha. It crumbled business activity, so there was an immediate urgent need to rehabilitate the road. The construction period was 6 months to 1 year. His government wrote to the management of Premier Breweries notifying them of the road construction and requested them to lose the fence and reconstruct it a bit inside their compound. They were negligent until it reached the time of construction. Workers were on the site and had begun working. Their work got to the end where the Premier Brewery fence was standing. Peter Obi had to order for the demolition of the fence. Note, only the fence. Only the fence. But look at how they are painting the whole thing now. Can you imagine that he was making reference to Peter Obi said that road construction that will be constructed and any building standing on the way will be demolished without compensation. Now there are so many federal government roads. If you watch some videos of Benin roads, how deadly the roads are. It's more like a death trap. So many federal government roads that are abandoned. And what caught the attention of Dave Umahi is the coastal line. What anytime this man gets the opportunity to talk, he starts talking nonsense. Even before the election, he said a lot of things against Labour Party. Labour Party will do this, Peter Obi will do this. But will this whole thing make Dave Umahi to be more recognized than Peter Obi? Never in his lifetime. Soludo tried it, did a lot of things, say Peter Obi would not do this, but they were all surprised. Peter Obi scored more than 6 million votes, which I know both Dave Umahi and Soludo combined will never get such votes in the southeast. Even they cannot even win their own state when it comes to do with presidential election. So I don't know why we always find these kind of things happening among Igbos. Tinubu kickstarted his government on a very, very controversial note, announcing the end of subsidy, and not just that, dollar increase. I mean, Naira was collapsing like pack of cards. Cost of everything skyrocketed, and you will not see any prominent Yoruba politician criticize active Yoruba, either senator, House of Rep member, or even governor criticize Tinubu. But it's only in the east you will find this nonsense. Buhari ruled Nigeria for 8 years. You can somehow call him an illiterate because one, he did not even get a good certificate. But no active or non-active northern politician criticize Buhari. But let it just be Igbos. You will see their brothers rising up against them. You will see a lot of people. That's why Igbo people will never in this lifetime rule Nigeria. Because even if the Nigerians decide, okay, let's select one Igbo man, let him rule, you see their own brothers will rise up, to kick against it. To me, it's shameful.